Hi there makers and welcome back to the channel. So today's tutorial is for the absolute beginner or for the crocheter who is trying to perfect their skills. Learning how to crochet, I was taught to make turning chains like this. So this is chaining 3 and then going on to double crochet where the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Honestly, this is so wrong and we need to cancel that. So today I'm going to be showing you 3 methods on how to crochet straight edges, and so far this right here is my favorite one. Can you see how straight those are? So all of these, yes, give you straight edges, but so far this is my favorite, and I'll be showing you all 3 methods in this tutorial. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and if you prefer a written version, then find those instructions on my website. Otherwise, let's get started. So the first method is what I'm personally calling the clusters of double crochet, and you'll understand that in a minute. So I'm just going to make a foundation chain of 17, and I'm making 17 because I just want my swatch to have 15 stitches. And the chain number has nothing to do with the straight edges. I'm just doing that for the sake of the tutorial. So pause the video, make your chain of however many you want, and I'll meet you at the end. So I have my 17, and what I like to do is work into the back bumps of the chain. If this is hard for you, you don't have to do it, but it looks so much neater. So I'll count 1, 2, and into that third chain from the hook, I will place a double crochet into the back bump, and I'll place double crochets in all the stitches all the way up to the end. Pause the video, double crochet all the way up to the end, and I'll meet you at the end. And I'm working the last double crochet. So the first row is just a basic row. Now chain 2 and turn. The chain 2 will not count as a stitch, and into that first stitch we will place our double crochet. So go ahead and double crochet all the way up to the end, and at the end is where we start to work the magic. So leave that last stitch unworked so that we can finish that together. So now into that last double crochet, into that last stitch, we're going to place a cluster of double crochet. It sounds dramatic, but just watch. You yarn over and insert your hook into that last stitch. Pull up your yarn over, pull through 2. Now we won't finish the double crochet, but instead we'll go in as if to place another double crochet, which is why I'm calling this cluster. Pull that yarn through, yarn over, and pull through 2. And now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So in actual sense, we only have 1 stitch, although it looks like a cluster. So what this is going to do is fill in that space, what would have been a hole, and give you straight edges. And then you chain 2 and turn. And just like we did row 2, you will be repeating that. Chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. You will double crochet up into the last one, and I'll show you one more time how we work the cluster. So for the last time, into your last stitch, you yarn over, insert your hook, pull that yarn through, yarn over, and only pull through 2. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch, pull that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. You've got 3 loops on your hook, and you'll pull through everything. Chain 2 and turn. And then you continue to do that. And as you can see, your edges are quite straight. Personally, this is not my favorite. And that's because you can is this the one? Yes. You can kind of, I don't think this is the one. Yes, this is the one. You can kind of see, okay, if I couldn't tell, then I guess it's not as bad as I think it is. So, but still more, this isn't my favorite method. So let's go on to method 2, which is not so bad, but still more not my very best method. So method 2 is where we do a chainless turn. And so I started with a chain 2. I'm just going to continue from this. So you're going to assume that this is the second row. You already worked that first row of double crochet and you're starting your second row. So usually you would chain 2 and turn. So in this case, you won't, but you would just pull up about the same length of your double crochets. So that, as you can see, and now you want to hold on to this. So if you're an absolute beginner, you might want to ignore this unless you're very confident, because it's a bit tricky, just a little bit. So you're going to hold on to the yarn on your hook, and you want to twist just like so. So let's do that again. I've pulled up my yarn and to the length of, or somewhat the length of the double crochets, and holding on to this. If you don't hold on to it, this is what it's going to do. So you want to hold on to that yarn and twist so that the yarn kind of goes around your hook like so. Go into that stitch, your first stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now, yarn over and pull through those two, yarn over and pull through those two. So just like that, you have formed a chainless double crochet. I know it's a bit funny. Let's do it again. So you're going to pull your yarn to the length of a double crochet, holding onto that yarn on your hook. You want to twist. So you're twisting the yarn up around itself. When I let go and try and twist, it doesn't do anything. But when you hold it and twist, it's easier. So into that first stitch, you go in, insert your hook, you loop that yarn and pull it through. So it looks like you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through those 2. Yarn over and pull through the 2. Just like that. And you're going to finish off. You're going to go on as you normally would a double crochet. So go on all the way up to the end, and then I'll start the other row with you just to show you again how to do it. And I just want to add that you're going to finish your double crochets as you normally would. It's just the beginning. So the next row, you'll pull up that loop to the height of your double crochet, holding onto that yarn on your hook, yarn it over like so, insert your hook, put that yarn through, double crochet, just like so, and you will proceed as you normally would. So let me just show you how you would finish a row. So this is the first double crochet that we made in that manner. So as you can see, that V, it looks a bit weird, but then you're going to work it from the side, just like so. So you're going to act like you're kind of twisting it to the side so that you can find the top stitch to finish working into there. So that would be my last double crochet, just like so. I have used 2 methods. Maybe that's why it's going to look a bit wonky, but so far this is method 1 and method 2. So the third method, and also my favorite, is called a stacked single crochet method. I hadn't heard of that until this year, and so far it's my favorite. So to do that, it's just like this previous method I was showing you. You do not make a chain. So you're just going to turn your work around like so. And this works for a half double crochet as well as a double crochet, as well as a single crochet. So into that first stitch, you're going to go in there. So I haven't done anything. I haven't chained anything. I've just turned my work. And into that first stitch, I'm going to go in and place a single crochet, just like so. So now this part, pay attention. Do you see those 2 legs right in front of you? You're going to go into the one furthest from you, or the one closest to the working yarn, just like so. Pull that yarn through and make another single crochet. And you've got 2 stacks of single crochets on top of each other, giving you a double crochet. So let me just do that again. You've ended your work just like so. Instead of chaining, you're just going to turn it to the working side, or where you're going to start a new row. And without making a chain, you're just going to go in there and place a single crochet, just like so. Now you're going to find that leg that's closest to the working yarn and go inside. So let me do that nice and slowly. There's 2 legs. You're going to go into that one right there. Pull that in through and single crochet. That will act as your first double crochet. And then you're going to go in. So this is your first stitch. This is your second. You're just going to go ahead and continue double crochet all the way up until the end. So let's get to the end and I'll show you one more time how you work a stacked single crochet. So I've reached the end of the row. As always, you just turn without making a chain into that first stitch, go in with a single crochet. And then you're going to go into one leg of that single crochet, pull that yarn through and make another single crochet and continue making double crochets. Just like so. And you're going to do that all the way up to the end. And when you get to the end, it looks like a single crochet, that top stitch, this one right here. that's what you would be working into. That would be your stitch. And even if you hold it from the top, you can tell that this is your stitch right here. So those are the three methods. And when I hold the three swatches that I made, it's hard for me to tell which was which because all of them will give you straight edges. However, I still more found the stacked single crochets method to be my favorite. So you will see, I'm gonna advise that you work different swatches and see which one stands out to you, because all our preferences are different. And yeah, whatever stands out to you best, that's the one you should use. As for this, when I was new to crocheting, this is what I was told to do. So imagine you're working a crochet blanket and they're telling you to chain three, and the chain three counts as a stitch. And then you want to work a border around. It's just going to give you holes and it doesn't look very nice. So I want you guys to master this method, or one of the methods that I've taught you, and use it. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, and share it to someone you know will like it. And then I'll see you guys in another tutorial.